Hello and welcome, this is Fox Phoenix and welcome to my first video tutorial, and today we're going to be putting together an Imperial cruiser direct from Games Workshop. Now as you can see, I have laid out before us all the pieces necessary to the design of the model. The two halves of the cruiser, the wing, the engine, some of the antennas, the command module, and a couple of the macro cannon bays. Now I'm going to show you how to assemble it a little bit differently than your stock kit, because I'm going to use magnets so that the weapon bays can be switched out at my leisure. So to go ahead and get started, you're going to use a tester's plastic glue for most of the plastic kits, and just your cheap run-of-the-mill super glue for anything else. Now a couple good tools that you're going to require for this job. You're going to need a 3/16 drill bit. I prefer to put it in a hand drill so I can control just how far I want to drill. You're also going to need probably a good hobby file. A needle file works good for this. A sharp utility knife, preferably one with a retractable blade, especially if you have kids or pets. And you'll probably even want a good pair of pliers. I like to use these kinds with the bent nose. And for the magnetizing the weapon bays themselves, you're going to need some regular staples, and we'll get to that later. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to glue the two pieces together using your plastic glue. So what I like to do is, just for extra integrity, I like to go around the studs and along the bases, all along the outside edge. Now that's what these hobby clamps come in use for, is they keep these pieces nice and tight until they're dry, so that there's not as many gaps. Now I'm going to set this aside for now, and I already have a pre-made one already dried, so we're going to use that. Now, it's best if you try and insert the magnets and get those set in before you try putting on any of the exterior items, because they'll just kind of get in the way. These little antennas can snap off, and you don't want that happening. So you're going to drill your pilot hole about in the middle of where each weapons bay is going to go. If you go too far in the front, then you're going to be drilling through that stud, and you don't want that. That'll just decrease the integrity of the model. So just start about midway. This is why I like to use the hand drill, because you can kind of control with a little more precision exactly where you're drilling. Now be careful not to get your finger on the other side of this. You don't want that to happen. You're just going to keep drilling until you get all the way through to the other side. See? So that comes all the way out the other side. So it goes all the way through. You can use your file or your hobby knife to clean up the edges a little bit. Just get that a little bit more cleaned up. And yes, you can hear my kids in the background demanding daddy's attention. You're going to want to expand this hole just a little bit, because I use magnets that are roughly a 1/4 inch diameter by 1/8 inch diameter, height actually. Just little small discs, just like that. Now what you want to do, I have to unplug my glue here. What you're going to want to do is put the plastic glue around the edge of that hole we just made so that the magnets will pop in easier. It'll soften the glue and make it so that they'll just pop right in with a little bit of force. Now if you want, you can let that sit a minute to make sure it's extra soft. I'm going to go take care of the kiddos, and we'll be right back in a second as soon as that's soft to put the other magnet in.